True wealth often escapes people, not because they're not smart or capable, but because they're busy pursuing the wrong paths. Andrew Carnegie wasn't one of them. He didn't stumble upon fortune by chance, nor was it handed down to him. He began his life with nothing in his pockets, yet climbed to the peak of financial greatness. His secret? He didn't follow the crowd. He thought differently, moved with courage, and treated every step like it mattered. That mindset made all the difference. Carnegie was born into poverty in Scotland, the son of a weaver who couldn't keep up with the changing times. When the Industrial Revolution rendered his father's skills obsolete, the family packed their hopes and moved to America. Carnegie was just 13. With barely any formal education, he took his first job in a cotton mill for a meager wage. While most would crumble under such hardship, Carnegie used it as fuel. He dreamed, not of luxury, but of progress. Each small task was an opportunity to shine, and he made sure others noticed. From messenger boy to telegraph operator, then railroad assistant, Carnegie took each role seriously, mastering the skills, building trust, and learning the ropes. His real breakthrough came not from a promotion, but from a mindset. He didn't wait for permission to grow. He saw knowledge as power and devoured books at a local library. What he lacked in schooling, he made up for in self-education. And that changed everything. One turning point came when a mentor offered him a chance to invest. It was just 10 shares, but when Carnegie received his first dividend check, he felt a jolt of realization. This was money not earned through sweat, but through strategy. It was passive income, wealth that multiplied without his hands touching it. That was his golden egg moment. From then on, Carnegie focused not just on working hard, but on working smart. He started placing his money where it could grow: railroads, iron, bridges, and most importantly, steel. His steel empire, built through daring investments and cutting-edge innovation, didn't just make him rich, it reshaped America. But Carnegie believed in more than just business smarts. He lived by principles. One of them, always do more than what's expected. That's how he got noticed. That's how he climbed. In every role, he went beyond the job description. He learned telegraph codes by ear. He wrote reports with extra care. He anticipated needs before they were voiced. In short, he made himself indispensable. Carnegie also understood the value of building goodwill, not just wealth. He believed people are more important than profits, and relationships often open more doors than resumes. Every conversation was a chance to learn, every task was a chance to lead, and every setback was a chance to grow. That's what separated him from those who plateaued. Another key to Carnegie's success was being first. He often said, "The first man gets the oyster, the second gets the shell." In business, timing is everything. Carnegie took risks others hesitated to take. He invested in railroad expansions and steel production when others were uncertain. It paid off massively. But those decisions weren't impulsive, they were informed. He studied, he planned, and when the moment came, he acted, quickly and decisively. Because opportunities don't wait. But Carnegie wasn't reckless. He practiced what he called rational risk, calculated moves based on insight and foresight. His philosophy? Be bold, but be prepared. And that preparation came from constant learning. He didn't just read business books. He read science, economics, politics. He spoke with engineers, chemists, and financiers. He didn't just want to be rich. He wanted to understand the forces shaping the future. Carnegie believed in the power of vision, but also in clarity. He urged others not just to say, "I want to be rich," but to define what that meant. How much money, by when, for what purpose. Vague goals lead to vague actions, but clear goals lead to targeted effort. And when you set those goals, Carnegie said, attach a deadline, make it real. That's when dreams become missions. He also believed in preparation meeting action. When offered a new job, he didn't ask for time to think. He said, "I can start right now." That attitude of readiness and commitment set him apart. And when it was time to move on, he didn't hesitate either. If an investment no longer served him, he cut ties, quickly, without dragging things out. Carnegie's belief in mentorship was not just theoretical. He often credited his early opportunities to the people who guided him, like Thomas A. Scott, a key figure in the Pennsylvania Railroad. Carnegie observed these mentors closely, learning not just about business mechanics, but about temperament, strategic thinking, and timing. He used every encounter as a stepping stone, absorbing insight and applying it immediately. His ability to translate advice into action was what set him apart. He didn't just listen, he applied, refined, and evolved. Beyond business, Carnegie's ideas on generosity transformed how wealth is perceived. In his famous essay, The Gospel of Wealth, he argued that the rich have a moral obligation to redistribute their surplus means in ways that promote the welfare and happiness of the common man. But unlike blind charity, he emphasized giving in a way that empowers, not enables. He funded libraries, schools, and institutions that taught people how to fish rather than handing them the fish. This belief still echoes in philanthropy circles today. His views on leadership were equally progressive. He didn't believe in ruling with fear or pride. Instead, he inspired loyalty through fairness, vision, and humility. He was known to walk through his steel mills and talk to workers directly, asking for feedback and showing genuine interest in their lives. This wasn't a PR stunt. Carnegie believed that good leadership started from the ground level and rose upward through empathy and respect. In his later years, Carnegie turned almost entirely toward philanthropy. He sold his steel empire and devoted the rest of his life to giving away his fortune. It wasn't just generosity, it was an intentional act of legacy building. He believed that dying rich was a disgrace if your wealth hadn't served humanity in some form. Today, his philanthropic contributions are estimated to exceed $5 billion in modern dollars. Proof that his belief in giving wasn't theoretical. Yet Carnegie's journey wasn't without criticism or controversy. He faced backlash during the Homestead Strike, a dark chapter where tensions between labor and management escalated into violence. But rather than ignore this, Carnegie reflected deeply on the role of capital versus labor. This moment redefined how he approached responsibility. It reminded him, and the world, that capitalism without compassion is just exploitation, and that no amount of success can excuse the neglect of those who help build it. Despite this blemish, Carnegie's long-term legacy remains deeply influential. He didn't just succeed in business. He succeeded in building ideas that outlived him. His name is etched into universities, cultural landmarks, and global peace initiatives. More than his wealth, it is his mindset, ethics, and curiosity that continue to inspire. Carnegie's story is more than a rags to riches tale. It's a blueprint for building a life that matters through purpose, vision, learning, and service. His values remain as relevant now as they were in the 19th century. In an era driven by shortcuts and surface-level success, Carnegie reminds us of the deeper work, the kind that doesn't just build empires, but transforms generations. So as you chart your own journey, remember what made Andrew Carnegie truly wealthy. It wasn't just the steel. It wasn't just the dollars. It was the mindset, the resilience, the vision to see not just what is, but what could be. That's your inheritance, not money, but a model. Not wealth, but wisdom. Now take it, use it, and build something that lasts.